Mixed Design is your one-stop shop for custom clothing with a personal touch. At Mixed Design, we can help you tell your story through your wardrobe. Your imagination on a hat, shirt, pullover, or nearly anything wearable. And while you're picking out some custom clothing, check out the one-of-a-kind handmade soaps from the Bobcat Soap Company. Find us on Facebook and let us create custom swag just for you at Mixed Design.
Hog fanatics, we at Inside the Hawg Pen are thrilled to announce that SeatGeek is now a sponsor. As brand ambassadors, we're excited to share SeatGeek as a ticket app that simplifies the ticket buying process for all your favorite events. They provide a 0 to 10 score for each ticket, with green indicating a good deal and red indicating a not so good deal. As a special offer, Hog fanatics can get $20 off their first ticket purchase by using the code INSIDEHOGPEN. Check out our socials for the link, and remember to use the code INSIDEHOGPEN.
This is where the fun begins. What is up, everybody?
But we've seen this movie before.
What's Sam Pittman known for?
I don't know.
Exactly. Is the Arkansas athletic program cursed? You never know what the loudest mouth in the fan base and his wild band of misfits are going to say.
I have a river of Kool-Aid for basketball.
It's time to step inside the Hawg Pen with your host, Razorback Zach and Marcus MC Carlton.
Talk to you.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to an all-new episode of Inside the Hawg Pen. I am your host from the Central Arkansas Hawg Pen, Razorback Zach, as always, from the NEA Hawg Pen, coming in loud and clear is my boy, my brother, my best friend, and professionally proven the glue that holds the whole damn thing together, Marcus MC Carlton. What's up, dude?
Hey, Ben, how's it going? How's things blowing around down there?
Well, you got about 7 wildfires going right now. In the county that's not good. Let's put it like that. But first, we've got some. Let me hit this button here.
Let me talk to you.
All right, breaking news just before we came on air. Arkansas secures a new commit out of Lebanon, or is it Lithuania? I think it's Lebanon.
Lebanon.
6'9" forward. I'm going to butcher this name. Kareem Retail.
That'll work, man. That'll work. I've been sitting here practicing it as well, and that's what I came up with. So,
well, if I don't think about it, it's like Big Z's name. If I don't think about it, I can get it on the first try. But I want to welcome everybody into Inside the Hawg Pen tonight, presented by Seven Oaks Steakhouse and Seafood and Rock City Wraps. Do not forget, and I got to remember, this is not Thursday, it's Wednesday. We're here tonight because tomorrow night the tournament kicks off, and y'all don't want to watch us when the basketball's on.
Especially Hogs won't be done by 7.
Yeah,
so
dude, come on now. But make sure you guys tune in Friday, 101.1 FM The Answer, 501-823-0965. I want your reaction this week of how the Hogs do in Providence. So give me a call. Let's talk about it. And then anywhere podcasts are found, make sure you guys check out The Final Jump Shot. Episode 1 out now. Episode 2 is coming soon.
Yep.
You're not going to want to miss it.
Probably next week on episode 2.
Not going to want to miss it. Now, I do have a little bit of sad news, and I usually don't do this, but she is considered ITHP royalty. So big shout out to Mama Linda. Mama Linda is currently in the hospital. So we want to wish her well, and hope you get better soon, Mama. And we'll see you back here in the pen. All right, dude. So it's time to get into this. You're muted, MC. He's so excited.
I'm so damn excited. I forgot to unmute my mic. I have a river of Kool-Aid for basketball.
Yeah.
All right. So tournament time here in this natural state. And I have to ask, just because I was never the smart kid in school, okay? I was never the straight A student. I was never the nerd. I was the kid they shoved in a locker just because I was there. All right. But who is smoking what to put us in the West region? But we're playing in Providence, Rhode Island.
Yeah, you played in Rhode Island.
The East Coast. So something's not adding up here.
Somebody needs a geography lesson for sure.
The math ain't math in here. The compass broke. But that's right. Tomorrow night, CBS, 6:10 tip-off time for Arkansas, Kansas in the first round of the NCAA tournament. And there's a new, and if you've been living under a rock, Boogie Fland comes back. Now, MC, I want to ask, this team's kind of been adjusted so many times without a Duthiero, without Boogie, without the emergence of Jonas Adu, Billy Richmond. God, who's the other one? John L. Davis.
TB.
Okay. How does Boogie play into this? Into the new, and I'm gonna call it a new dynamic.
Yeah, well, it is. I mean, it's another version of this team. You know, Cal talked about a couple weeks ago that he's had 4 different teams in one season that he's had to kind of prepare to play. And I think you can just add this in as number 5, because the Boogie Fland we're going to get tomorrow night versus Kansas and however long Arkansas's in the dance,
right,
is not going to be the Boogie Fland we saw in the exhibition game against Kansas and all of November and all of December. It's not going to be that Boogie Fland. This Boogie Fland is going to be in a different role. First off, he's not going to start. He's not going to start tomorrow night, I don't think. Looking at it,
that would be crazy.
Well, now, I'm not going to say never, but I will be very shocked if he starts tomorrow night, because Boogie himself talked to Cal and said, I don't want to mess with what they have going, because things have been going well lately for the most part. You know, it's been a little up and down, but for the most part, they found a bit of a groove.
That's the mark of a team player right there.
It is. And that's
when you go to a head coach and go, hey, y'all got something going here. Fit me in where I can fit in.
Yeah.
Don't. That's a team player. That's that wee ball that I have been wanting to see from these guys.
Absolutely.
And I like it.
And this is huge, because this allows, it's another body. It's another body of depth for the guards. Because a lot of times, Billy, I honestly feel like Billy Richmond's kind of been playing a little bit out of position, but he's been playing excellent as far as he's more like a point forward rather than a true point guard, in my opinion, because of his size. But he's done really well. This might allow him to move back into what I think is his natural position a little more. And it allows a little more rest time for Nelly and also for DJ Wagner, because Boogie can play the 1 or the 2 depending on who he's on the floor with.
Well, and even on the Kansas side of things, this is not going to be the same team we saw back in October.
October. Yeah.
It's not. That's the thing. They had back in October, they had like 2 or 3 guys that were injured.
Well, the big man, Hunter Dickinson, didn't play.
He's still at Kansas?
Yeah. 37 years. He's like the dude at Auburn, man. He's like 37 years old.
He's like my age, man.
Yeah. He played for he played for Roy Williams when Roy was at Kansas. So
dude.
But yeah, he's in the mix. You know, they were not healthy. They were kind of like Arkansas. They were kind of beat up at that exhibition game. And I mean, both of these teams honestly have kind of been to hell and back in their own respective conferences and in their own respective seasons, because this season is not up to the standard that Kansas sets. It's not to the Cal standard, you know. So and frustration sets in when those seasons happen. So, you know, I have not watched Kansas play a whole lot this year. I've seen a little bit, but not even enough to speak intelligently on them.
Right.
But I have to kind of wonder, you know, have they kind of tapped out on the season? You know, because it's not living up to that Jayhawk standard that they have.
Well,
when's the last time you remember Kansas being a 7 seed?
That's what shocked me is Kansas has always been one of those that is like the top 5. Like,
yeah.
And of course, I've never known them to not be a number 1 seed for the longest time.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to get technical about it, they are, for all intents and purposes, considered a blue blood of college basketball.
Absolutely.
Auburn is not. I'm just gonna, disclaimer, because everybody knows how I feel about Auburn. But let me see here. They're 11-9 in conference, 21-12 overall. So they're not that much better than we are.
Right. I mean, there are a lot of similarities between these two teams. I just went over to our good friend Grok, the AI machine, right, on Twitter. You want to take a guess the last time Kansas was a 7 seed?
Was that pre-MC, or because I know it's got to be.
It was pre-Zach.
I know I was going to say it was pre-me. I know that.
Yeah, it was not pre-MC, but it was 44 years ago.
Woo.
1981.
Woo.
So yeah, they're not used to being in the 7-10 game.
Well, I mean, when was the last time you saw North Carolina in a
oh yeah, it is an 11
as an 11 seed in a play-in game?
Yeah,
I've got some stats here for the history of Kansas, and we're going to group all of this together so you don't have to change banners there, MC.
All right,
but this is coming from hogstats.com on Twitter. Arkansas as a 10 seed is 0-1.
Okay.
0-1 against a 7 seed. They're 2-2.
Okay.
In Rhode Island, all games are in Providence. They're 3-1, and against Kansas, they're 6-8.
So I just almost asked you a very stupid question, and then I caught myself and figured it out. So
see, I want everybody to take note. Okay,
it does happen. You know,
even the teacher has a slip up every now and then.
No, I was going to ask. Well, wait a minute. If they're, what'd you say? 0-1 is a 10 seed?
Yeah.
I was going to ask, how could they be 0-1 as a 10 seed and then have a 2-2 record against a 7? But they could have.
Yeah, it's
faced a 7 as a different seed.
I tried to find the team. I tried to find the one that beat us as a 10 seed, and I could not find it.
Yeah, I would have to really think on that, because I might have to defer to Grok as that.
Well, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, in that one bracket, okay, in the West region, first off, they need to get away with West region, Midwest region, this region, mainly because they got their directions crossed again.
Yeah, no doubt.
But you potentially have 3 of the biggest names in college basketball.
Yeah,
in one little quadrant, not in the bracket itself, one little quadrant of the bracket.
Mm-hmm.
So you have Bill Self versus John Calipari. That story writes itself.
Yep.
Okay. And you potentially have waiting in the wings, not taking anything away from who they play in. Omaha.
All
right, Peyton Manning. You would potentially have waiting in the wings Rick Pitino and St. John's.
Yeah.
So you have Cal versus Pitino or Self versus Pitino.
Tell me this would not have been absolute cinema to have second round matchup of Pitino versus Cal in Rupp Arena.
Oh, dude.
I mean, you've got 3 Hall of Fame coaches here. I don't mind the matchup. I honestly don't mind the matchup with Kansas in the first round. Don't mind playing St. John's in the second round. But why do you put that one in Providence? Because let's face it, the NCAA tournament is a made-for-TV event.
Oh, yeah.
You're trying to secure the biggest ad revenue dollars and the biggest ratings you can get. Tell me what would get bigger ratings than Rick Pitino going back to play his first and second round game in Rupp Arena, also followed by John Calipari playing his first round game and potentially a second round game in there, along with Bill Self at one of the blue bloods along with Kentucky. Because I mean, let's face it, I hate Kentucky, can't stand them, but I can't deny what they've done in history. They're a blue blood. You have to admit it.
They are a blue blood. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
If you look at the grand scheme of things, and I'll give credit where credit's due: Duke, North Carolina, Kansas, and Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's your 4 blue bloods right there.
Yeah.
That's the granddaddies of them right there.
Of our generation. Now if you get in a different generation, you got to throw UCLA and possibly you got to put Indiana into the mix on that too. But for our generation, it's the ones you named off.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, it's like this. Every generation, every era, every decade has the GOATs, the blue bloods, the dynasty, whatever you want to call them, whatever title you want to put on it. The wise man coming in clutch.
Okay,
you got
it.
I got you, gentlemen. This is the second time in program history Arkansas has received a 10 seed. The other was in 1980 when the Razorbacks lost to number 7 seed Kansas State in the Midwest region in Lincoln, Nebraska.
That's why he's the wise man.
Okay, hold on. UConn is not a blue blood because they're not consistent enough. Would you agree or disagree with that?
They're borderline. I mean, you are talking about the back-to-back defending champ. They had, I know of at least 3 titles they had before Danny Hurley got there and won the last 2. So I would put them knocking on the door. In the last 30 years, Sam may have an argument here. He may have an argument here. Hey, I'll take the bullet on this one. I just flat out forgot about UConn. Okay?
By the way, welcome back to the pen, Sam.
Yeah.
Where you been?
Nice to finally get you back over here, man. And ironically, it's on the wrong night of the week. So
yeah, right. Well, but I mean, in the grand scheme of the tournament this year,
yeah,
okay. If Arkansas makes it to the Sweet 16,
build the statue.
If again, anything past the second round, overachieving. I will be. All things considered, how this season's gone, injuries, lack of depth, everything that this team has faced, if they get to the second round and lose to St. John's, I can live with that. I will be disappointed if we lose to Kansas, but I won't be heartbroken. It'll be disappointment, but there's no shame. You're the underdog. You're not the favorite on the point spread. If you lose to Kansas, okay. And I mean, let's face it, Kansas kind of owes us one after the last time we played them in the tournament. So yeah, that was. Don't remind me.
It was fun. It was fun.
It was heartbreaking. In the grant, but I mean, overall though, if you could put a letter grade on the season, MC, and if you want to add the Kansas exhibition game in there, go for it.
It's exhibition, so I'm not going to count it.
But how would you grade it based on how you felt? Because here's the thing, boy, let me tell you something. If y'all are just now watching us, this man was riding the highest of highs going into the season. Man.
Well, and then so then I go to the exhibition game too, and that injects it straight to the vein.
He comes back and he's like, "Give it to me." And then I mean, I did losing streak, and he's like, "Man." Based on how you felt beginning of the season before tip off,
yeah,
versus now, how do you feel about the team?
It's difficult to compare it like that because before the season, I wasn't looking at. I didn't have the knowledge I have now as far as what all injuries and stuff had gone on. Cal had talked about. When I went to the little event down at Hot Springs, Cal had talked about, hey, man, we're beat up. We don't even have enough guys to scrimmage. That's why we got these team managers out here. I didn't realize just how beat up it was. I didn't realize Jonas Adu had foot surgery. I didn't realize that, Nelly had fallen out of a golf cart and landed directly on his shooting hand. I mean, it was. I just thought, okay,
it still makes me wonder how the hell he did.
Yeah, that's one of them that you don't want to ask how it happened because you're probably not going to like the answer. But to look at that, I mean, all things considered, man, I think you got to give this season a solid B to a B plus. Well, when you consider all things, but then you also look at the hype that they came in with, they didn't necessarily live up to the hype.
Well, but again, you've got, and again, I'm going to say this, and it's going to ruffle some feathers, and I want every bit of the smoke because that's what I do here at Inside the Hog Pen. I honestly feel like Aduthiero is going the way of NSJ.
And if he is, I can't blame him, man.
But here's the thing: I've hyperextended my knee before. It doesn't take a month and a half.
But you also have to look at it from this perspective. Okay, barring some miracle, Arkansas is not making a magical run to the Final Four. They are not. I mean, I think they're plus 5,000 or plus 50,000 on the chance to win the national title. So
I got something for that, by the way.
Yeah. But so it's not like he is skipping out on a potential national championship run, a Final Four run. There's a very good chance Arkansas can be one and done. This, by about 25, 26 hours from now, we may be done. And so look at that, he's going to be a first round pick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you have to kind of consider that.
He needs to come back, though. In my opinion.
Hey, I would like to see him come back. Now I'm kind of wondering. I don't think Boogie comes back, but why would he come back and play in this game if he, like I believe Thero is, gonna hit the draft at the end of the year? Why would he come back and play at this game?
True. And then there's another name that there's smoke, and where there's smoke, there's usually fire. DJ Wagner's, there's smoke around him transferring to.
There's some talk of that. Transferring out west to play for somebody we all know pretty well.
Where are they playing in the tournament? Oh, that's right.
Same place I am, in the recliner.
He left us to go sit on the couch in the postseason.
I mean, the only way he's going to play in this postseason is if he gets in the ITHP ESPN bracket challenge.
Yeah,
so that'll be the only way he plays.
Before we go to break, I got to hit some of these comments in the Cam Productions live fan feedback. Sam Jones is on one tonight. And he says, let's see, where'd it go? There it is. Sorry, my computer tripped out. He said, even Dorothy and Toto are sick of Arkansas getting Kansas in the tourney.
Yeah.
Then he says, Nelly falling out of the golf cart was par for the course.
Boom.
Nice one there, Sam. We've missed you, buddy.
Yeah.
And Loki says, I think we're right about where I figured we would be before the season. Everyone was talking Final Four, but that wasn't realistic. This year, one across the board. This is year one across the board, and fairy tale stories are crazy rare. I expect them to come together nicely and build a lot of potential for next year. Mission accomplished.
Okay, Loki, next time just call me out by name. So
I wasn't going to say anything.
I really did. I thought if we stayed healthy, based on everything on paper, I thought Final Four was in the picture.
I mean, I wasn't going to say anything, but I think he just called you out, dude.
It happens, man.
All right, we're going to take
I'm a big boy.
On the other side of the break, somebody in New York's got a set of you-know-what on them. We'll tell you more about it coming up on Inside the Hog Pen.
Mix Design is your one-stop shop for custom clothing with a personal touch. At Mix Design, we can help you tell your story through your wardrobe. Your imagination on a hat, shirt, pullover, or nearly anything wearable. And while you're picking out some custom clothing, check out the one-of-a-kind handmade soaps from the Bobcat Soap Company. Find us on Facebook and let us create custom swag just for you at Mix Design.
Hey, Hog fanatics. We at Inside the Hog Pen are thrilled to announce that SeatGeek is now a sponsor. As brand ambassadors, we're excited to share SeatGeek as a ticket app that simplifies the ticket buying process for all your favorite events. They provide a 0 to 10 score for each ticket, with green indicating a good deal and red indicating a not so good deal. As a special offer, Hog fanatics can get $20 off their first ticket purchase by using the code Inside Hawg Pen. Check out our socials for the link, and remember to use the code Inside Hawg Pen.
It's time to step back inside the hog pen to the Meeks Design Studios.
Awesome.
All right, welcome back to Inside the Hawg Pen. Okay, so I was perusing Twitter for most of the day when I got off work. And I came across this Twitter post where this guy in New York put $1,000 down on Arkansas to win the whole bloody thing.
Yeah.
If he wins, he gets $500,000.
Yeah. So that $1,000 bet turns into $500,000 payday. Look, I hope he wins it. I hope he wins it because you know what? We're gonna be very, very happy if he does. So. I mean, that to me seems like one of those situations where somebody's got a little more money than brains. But you know, hey, like I have been told, as I dabble with my Bet Saracen app, scared money don't make money. So this dude obviously ain't scared.
Well, I mean, but why Arkansas? Out of all the teams out there, why Arkansas?
Yeah, maybe. Well, I mean. Either he's looking for a big payday or he's one of us psycho hog fans that, we choose things with our heart rather than our head. So,
I mean, never mind. I'm not going to say something. I wasn't going to say. Watch it now because it's a family show. Sam Jones says someone in New York has a set of Knicks tickets on them that nobody wants to buy. Well, yeah, that's true too.
That could be anybody not named Spike Lee. So
let's look at the bracket as a whole real quick. And we kind of went into it Sunday when we did our bracket breakdown.
Which is available in podcast version if you want to go get it.
You beat me to it. Tell me your the first number one seed to fall. I've got Duke.
That's who I have. I have them falling in the Sweet 16 to Oregon. Let's see.
Yeah, I think that's where I've got them.
So I didn't go complete chalk, but I have 3 number ones making the Final Four.
Okay.
I have your favorite team,
Arkansas.
The self-proclaimed blue blood, not the actual blue blood. So you know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have Florida, which honestly, I think right now there's not a team in the country playing better ball than Florida.
Hey,
right now.
look, I'm gonna tell you right now, there ain't nobody playing better basketball than Florida right now. They are dangerous.
On the other side of the Final Four bracket, this is my wild card. So this is what's going to make or break my bracket. I have Wisconsin catching fire and making a Final Four run. And then they're going to play Houston on their side of the bracket. That's the other number one. And then my title game, I have Houston over Florida by a score of 76-72.
Wait.
What? Okay.
Who are your Final Four again?
Okay.
I had to find my bracket because you were naming. I'm going.
Yeah.
No way.
I've got Auburn and Florida on one side, and then I have Wisconsin and Houston on the other side.
Okay, just so people know, I am not bull here. I have the exact same thing. The exact first.
We did not talk about our brackets. We did not discuss.
Nothing.
Yeah,
that is wild. All right, so who you got winning it all?
Houston.
See, I got Florida.
I got them beating Florida. I've got Florida taking down Auburn in the Final Four, and Houston and Florida tying up for the national title in San Antonio, and Kelvin Sampson and the Cougars finally get one.
I just, my whole thing. Which upset because you know there's going to be a 12-5 upset. There's going to be a 2-15. The 2-15 matchups don't look like they're going to be an upset this year.
I don't know that we'll get a 2-15 this year. 5 over 12 or 12 over 5. I mean, I had one of those.
It was Missouri.
No, that's a 6. Missouri's a 6. Let me look at my 5s here.
Oh, there is one team I need to ask you about.
Oh, Clemson. My 12 over 5 is McNeese over Clemson.
That's the one. There is one team I need to ask you about as to
Okay.
why Ole Miss in the Elite Eight. You knew I was gonna go. You knew.
Yeah, I was ready for this. I have Ole Miss beating North Carolina, beating Iowa State, and then beating Michigan State in the Sweet 16 to go to the Elite Eight, where they run into Auburn, and Auburn takes them down. That is the faith I have in the coaching ability of Chris Beard. I am a Chris Beard stan fan. I mean, I'm a stan for Chris Beard. I'll admit it. I like Chris Beard. I think he's a hell of a coach. I think he's arguably one of the best X and O coaches in the game right now.
Right.
And if you look at his history in the NCAA tournament, no matter where he's been, he's had good results. And I really think Ole Miss could be one of those dark horse teams that makes, I wouldn't call it a Cinderella run because they're number 6, they're a 6 seed, and I've only got them going to the Elite Eight, but we'll say it's an unexpected run to the Elite Eight.
All right. I can get down with that, I guess.
Do you have any first round upsets?
Let me see. Hold on. I went out on a limb.
Yeah.
And I've got Creighton beating Louisville.
Ooh, okay.
I've got Creighton beating Louisville. I looked at both of those, and I looked at those very, 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 very long.
Okay, and I like that.
Wait a minute. Stop the press. I got to hit this one. I got to hit it.
Let me talk to you.
Apparently, she has broken free from the hospital, but she has finally made it
broke
back.
Out. All right.
Mama Linda is in the house officially. She says, "Hi guys, sorry I haven't been with you lately, been under the weather. Good to see you again." Mama Linda, Casey told me what was going on. We mentioned at the top of the show. We are so glad to see you back in here.
Glad to see you in the comments. That's awesome.
But so I had to hit that one. No, I looked at that one for a while, and that's literally one where you can flip a coin, and that one can go either way.
I got a comment I got to throw up here.
But I do have a 5-12 matchup that is going to shake somebody's cage over in the 901. I have Colorado State upsetting Memphis.
Oh, man. Yeah, I got Memphis making a little bit of a run.
I got Drake. I got Drake over Missouri.
I got that one. Yep.
I got Arkansas over Kansas. Baylor over Mississippi State, but not by much.
So we got
free throws are going to be the key in that game.
We got quite the prediction here from Sam.
Okay.
And I hate to tell him, but he's wrong. Duke's going to be the first number 1 seed to fall. So let it be written. So let it be done. And then they are not winning at all. And his last statement. I mean, come on, Sam. Come on now. Are you just clowning or what? Come on. There's not an SEC team that can beat them right now.
I guarantee you, Florida can wipe the floor with them.
I'm gonna say, and I know they played earlier this year. Duke got the better of them. But if there was a rematch, Auburn and Duke, Sam, you ain't gonna be happy without how that one comes out. And you're making me say nice things about Auburn. Come on.
Yeah, don't do that.
Okay, I can't do that anymore. I'm about to puke. So, and then man, this is like come after MC night because Sam and Loki both.
Well, you knew
hammering on me right now.
You knew once I mentioned your second team, Loki was going to come after you. Come on now. Come on now. You knew better. He says MC is a double agent. Oh, well, I mean, y'all should hear him in the team chat sometimes.
Oh, now, come on.
Okay. Hey, for all the
Golly, man.
For all the times you've been hating on me, I had to get a shot in there.
Sam's confident, man. He's wanting to put money on it. Yeah.
I got a better idea. How about we put a shirt on it?
Oh, we could do that.
How about we put a shirt on it?
We can do that. We'll do shirt versus public statement. How about that?
All right.
How about an ITHP shirt for Sam versus me having to come on here and put the one up and say that Sam was right and MC was wrong. All right. There it is.
There it is.
We got our thumbs up. So we'll do. Okay, so let's clarify here.
And I'll even add sweeten the pot a little bit. My daughter will design it.
All right, there we go. I like it. So all right, we got to clarify this. Is the bet that if Duke does not win at all, but they are not the first 1 seed to be eliminated, is that a draw? Is that how we're going to do this?
Okay, my internet geeked out on me. What was it?
So I'm getting clarification from our boy Sam. If Duke is not the first number 1 seed to be eliminated,
Okay.
but they do not win at all, that's a draw. Nobody wins. That's just a draw.
That's a draw.
If Duke wins it all, I have to come on here. I have to put the one up for my tribal chief, Sam Jones, and say that, I acknowledge Sam Jones as my tribal chief and I was wrong and he was right. So, okay. All right. We're on the same page, Sam. I'm just making sure here, brother. So, yeah. All right. Let's get it on, baby. I'm ready. Let's do this. I was going to be rooting against Duke anyway. So,
wow. I don't know what just transpired. But I am terrified.
Oh. Don't nobody want to see that, Sam. Nobody wants to see me go skins. Nobody, if this was 1996 and I still had the washboard, okay, yeah. But that washboard kind of turned into like a keg now. And
look, what the heck y'all need me for? I'm gonna dip out. But
we'll figure something out. I mean, there will be some kind of punishment that I will have to endure if Duke wins it all.
I gotta put this up.
No, man. In all seriousness, though, they may make a run. They are deep without Cooper Flagg, but Cooper's the straw that stirs the drink for them. So,
by the way, I missed his comment at the top of the show, but D-Mad is out on vacation.
Viva Las Vegas.
He's out in Sin City. D-Mad, stay out of trouble.
Hey, $20 on black.
So this just. By the way, for those of you in the Central Arkansas area and have been living under a rock, there are currently 54 wildfires going on in Central Arkansas right now.
God,
good
Lord!
There are 7 within the 6 within the city limits of Little Rock.
Wow. But
it's one of those that I just don't think, dude, because I don't think Flagg's out indefinitely, isn't he?
I think he may not play first round, but I think they're not, let's be honest, they're not going to need him first round. He'll be back, I would say, by Sweet 16 at the latest, if not round 2.
The latest.
The latest, yeah. I don't know what's going on in my head tonight, but yeah, I mean, he's going to be there for the important games.
Right.
So go back to clarify. I had Duke falling in the Sweet 16. I got them winning their first round game. I got them beating Mississippi State and then losing to Oregon in the Sweet 16.
I think that's how I've got it.
Now, if Liberty comes up and beats Oregon, I'm in trouble.
So let me ask you this before we go to break. And on the other side of the break, we'll talk baseball and softball. The Queens of Bogle Park took on Oklahoma this past weekend. Who's your Cinderella team? There's always one.
There's always one.
Who's it going to be? Because this is a very loaded tournament.
It is, and everybody's giving the committee a hard time for the way they picked this tournament. And I think North Carolina took that personally in true Michael Jordan fashion. They took that personally and just kind of put belt to backside on San Diego State and showed that they belong. That said, they're going down because now they get to play what you guys believe is my second favorite team.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
my Cinderella.
Prove us wrong, MC. Prove us wrong.
Let's see. I'm trying to look and see. I think I've got Drake beating Missouri in the first round, but then losing to Texas Tech. I don't really have anybody crazy, like a double-digit seed making a wild run.
Right.
The closest thing I have to that might be the 6th seed of Ole Miss. I've got Illinois going to
don't discount Illinois. All right.
I've got them going to Sweet 16 and then getting beat by Tennessee. I've got Illinois over the Big Blue Crybabies in the second round.
I can get down with that. I don't know about Ole Miss going all the way because they weren't all there this season. It looked like they went on a little bit of a run, but and again I know
Chris Beard.
Look, I'm just going to tell y'all this. I say it every time about this time of year. I'm not a basketball dude. I'm a basketball fan. I don't eat, sleep, breathe, and eat basketball like my boy here does. I'm the football dude. So in the fall, I'm the guy you go to. We balance each other out here.
We have a suggestion here by Sam. He said, if Duke wins it all, MC, you will eat a Popeye's biscuit slathered in peanut butter with no chaser live on air. Okay. Can I request to do honey instead of peanut butter? Because I really can't stand peanut butter. I'm not a peanut butter guy. I mean, I'll do honey with no chaser. I'll do. Give me an alternative to peanut butter because I don't like peanut butter. But if that's what you want, hey, if that's what you want, man, that's your guideline. So I can make it work.
I'll be the moderator here, and I'll say you can do honey since you don't like peanut butter or Nutella. Sam's got
Nutella done. Nutella's done. Yep. So let it be written. So let it be done.
All right, we're gonna go to break with that. On the other side of the break, we're gonna talk a little baseball and the Queens of Bogle Park. Break on Pen.
Meeks Design is your one-stop shop for custom clothing with a personal touch. At Meeks Design, we can help you tell your story through your wardrobe. Your imagination on a hat, shirt, pullover, or nearly anything wearable. And while you're picking out some custom clothing, check out the one-of-a-kind handmade soaps from the Bobcat Soap Company. Find us on Facebook and let us create custom swag just for you at Meeks Design.
Hey, Hog fanatics. We at Inside the Hawg Pen are thrilled to announce that SeatGeek is now a sponsor. As brand ambassadors, we're excited to share SeatGeek as a ticket app that simplifies the ticket buying process for all your favorite events. They provide a 0 to 10 score for each ticket, with green indicating a good deal and red indicating a not so good deal. As a special offer, Hog fanatics can get $20 off their first ticket purchase by using the code Inside Hawg Pen. Check out our socials for the link, and remember to use the code Inside Hawg Pen.
It's time to step back inside the hog pen to the Meeks Design Studios.
All right, welcome back to Inside the Hawg Pen. Apparently, the board had a mind of its own to just cut off the end of the break there. I don't know what happened there. Honest to God, I didn't touch anything. All I did was hit the music.
I was sitting here thinking about that Nutella on the biscuit, and I had to go get another bottle of water. It's making me thirsty just thinking about it.
Hey, man, I'll eat Nutella, man. Don't diss that. That's some good stuff. That's some good stuff.
Oh, I love it, but putting it on one of them biscuits like he's wanting, man, is woo boy.
Ooh,
that's gonna be wild.
Either that or
good thing I ain't gonna have to do it because Duke's getting beat in the Sweet 16. So
either that or a KFC biscuit. One of the two. But all right. So before we get to baseball, Bogle, the Queens of Bogle Park the softball team took on number 1 Oklahoma, and I'm very disappointed in the fan base because there was a lot of empty seats during that series.
Yeah, didn't have the turnout I expected.
But
we saw why Oklahoma's number 1.
They dropped the series, and they're good. But we, again, just like MC said, we know why they're number 1.
Yeah,
it's not that we're bad. It's just Oklahoma's that good.
Yeah. And I mean, you want to play the best. When you're doing like Coach Deifel and trying to build your program, this is who you're chasing. So to play against the best, that's your measuring stick.
What is it that Ric Flair once said? To be the man, you gotta be the man.
Absolutely.
But no, and they're on a roll. They're on a roll. They took care of business against UCA. Yep. They're going to be just fine. Courtney Duffel knows what she's doing. She's got a lot of her former players on staff that have actually played in Bogle Park against these teams. Guys like Mary Haff, Gibby's on the team. I didn't know Gibby was on the team till I
didn't know Gibby was back.
She's not Gibby anymore. She's something else. But hold on just a second. Somebody's out here revving up their motorcycle in the parking lot. But they're going to be all right. They got a series coming up this weekend, I think, back at home. Let me see if I can pull the app up. I got it right here. They're in I take that back. They're in Tennessee taking on the Tennessee Lady Volunteers.
Well, I can't say that. Never mind.
21-6 overall in conference. They're struggling just a little bit, 1-5, but they're going to bounce back. They always do. There's hitters up and down this lineup. Now keep in mind, this team is young. There's a lot of young freshmen on this team. So they're going to be here for a couple of years. By their senior year, look out. Look out.
I agree.
By the way, MC, did you know that you can get called for an illegal pitch in softball?
No, I don't pretend to know the rules for softball.
I've been watching a lot more softball, and I was watching, I want to say it was a UCA series, or it may have been Game 3 of Oklahoma before on Sunday.
Well, and there's this other rule, and I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but there's something like a flex player or something. It's almost like a DH or something.
Yeah, it's similar to DH, but when you get called for an illegal pitch, because you got the balk, you've got the pitch clock violation, and all of that. But in softball, I didn't know this either, so I'm sharing the information. If you bring your back foot up, your plant foot, that's an illegal pitch. That back foot has got to stay planted. It has to stay in contact with the ground.
Okay. I was not aware of that.
I didn't either till they called it. I was like, what? An illegal pitch?
My daughter never played softball, so beyond like the age of 6 or 8, All
right, so let's get to what everybody wants to talk about, and that's your 2 favorite teams playing in opening weekend. There's something special going with this team. You dropped Friday night in Oxford.
Yeah, you look bad Friday night, in all honesty.
You look rough. You look shook.
Gackle got rocked. I'm sorry, not Gackle. Root got rocked.
Root got shook. He
got rocked.
Again, it all it takes is one pitch, and he's up here.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, they came back and won the next 2.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't seen that kind of fight in a long time, and they were not panicked because
Well, and I will say this too. Everybody knows where I'm at with Nate Thompson, but right now I like what I'm seeing from the team as far as the hitting, because it's not home run or nothing. We've got guys slapping the ball the other way. We've got, when a single will do to get a run in, that's what we're getting. You've got, oh my gosh, the guy that I got a buddy that calls him Lenny Dykstra Jr. Or whatever.
Kozel?
No, that last name starts with a D. Davenall, or I don't know.
Chuck Davenall.
I've started calling him Lenny Dykstra Jr. because he looks like Lenny Dykstra that used to play for the Phillies. He's a consistent hitter. He's not a power hitter. He's a consistent guy. But then you've got the Aloy brothers. I mean, good Lord, can we get some more Hawaiians up in here? I mean, only the 3rd or 4th set of brothers to ever go back to back at any level of baseball. 3rd, okay.
3rd.
I mean, that's history right there. And the way that they're just smacking the ball right now is just ridiculous.
But I mean, to fight back, especially in that Sunday game, the rubber match.
Yeah.
Okay. Especially in that rubber match. That's where I really saw the fight this team, because they weren't trying to swing for the fence.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you fast forward to the 2-game series this week, yesterday and today.
Mm-hmm.
A 12-hit inning. They hit
12 runs in one inning. I mean,
they batted against Oral Roberts today for 35 minutes in the 4th inning.
That's insane. That is absolutely insane.
DVH gets his 900th win here at Arkansas. I'm sorry, I think it was over. Was it here at Arkansas, or was it?
No, it was Saturday. It was Saturday, I believe, was when they got when he got 900.
And that was for his career, not here at Arkansas.
Correct.
Right?
I believe that was for his career. I'd have to look at that for sure. But either way, I mean, that's ridiculous good.
They've got South Carolina coming up this week, and guess what? If you're going to the game Saturday, your boy's going to be there, making his first appearance in 2025 in the Hog Pen, back where it all began. Your boy Razorback Zach's going to be there. So if you hear somebody screaming louder during the hog call, get all pissed off if you want to, because that's me. They don't call me the loudest mouth in the fan base for nothing. But,
all right, I want to get the name right. Charles Davalon. That's Lenny Dykstra Jr. in my eyes, because he reminds me of Lenny Dykstra. If you're not old enough to remember him, go YouTube him.
Yeah, go YouTube him. So MC, I gotta ask you something.
Okay.
And again, this final thoughts here as we're wrapping up. Just kind of throwing this out here. Greatest sports movie of all time.
For me?
Yeah.
Hoosiers, without a doubt.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. For me. Now, my wife does not agree, even though we went to the same high school and it was a basketball-only school. She does not agree. She's a Remember the Titans fan.
I knew I liked Miss Heather for a reason.
Hoosiers is probably number 2 or maybe even number 3 for her. But Remember the Titans is her number 1, far and away.
I have 2.
Okay.
The Replacements.
It's underrated. The Replacements is pretty cool. There's a Gene Hackman tie there because he's the coach there as well, and he's Coach Norman Dale.
I mean, everybody's going to have their own. I mean, you've got Coach Carter, you've got Hoosiers, you've got Any Given Sunday.
Friday Night Lights.
My dad likes Draft Day.
Draft Day's good. I like Draft Day.
The other one, nobody's mentioning.
Grader's a great. It lives up to the name. Okay, we got one here, and I'm throwing this in because Dan Yoakum going old school with it here.
All right,
the original Longest Yard with Burt Reynolds as Paul Wrecking Crew, the main player, and that movie. That's one of my dad's favorite movies of all time. That's a great one. Loki comes in strong here. The wise man being wise again. Field of Dreams is a good one.
Hey! If you build it, they will come.
I'm sensing we may have to have I'm sensing a podcast exclusive to maybe we do some kind of bracket of sports movies.
I like that. Summer's coming up. We're not gonna have much to talk about after June when Arkansas wins it all, because like you were with basketball, I got a river of Kool-Aid for baseball.
Hey man, I mean, we could if they bring it home this year, we can ride that for several weeks. So
I will be insufferable if they bring it home.
Oh, my boy David, longest Razorback baseball fan ever. I mean, he remembers going to George Cole Field as a kid and just walking in and there being like 19 people there. That dude, he will be walking this high off the ground if that happens.
Oh yes. By the way, for Central Arkansas folks, now this doesn't, high school sports. Here's the thing: high school sports is only for like the community. So, but being as it may, big breaking news: after 20 years at being at War Memorial Stadium, the Salt Bowl between Benton and Bryant is now going to home and home. So this is going to get interesting because where are you going to put everybody? Them football stadiums are not that big.
My first question is, why make the move? Because that's every year that it's been at War Memorial, that has been the highest attended football game in the high school football game in the state.
Because War Memorial Stadium is a hole.
If you want our true feelings on War Memorial Stadium, there's a podcast back in the archives. Go find it.
We might have to redo that one now. But here's the thing, and here's my issue with it all. Okay, if you've got a high school team, the largest high school game in the state, leaving that stadium, hello, McFly, hello.
Yeah, that's an issue.
Need I say more? Anyway,
and then you're going to have the arguably the single biggest in-state game to ever happen on the collegiate level there this fall, but the biggest high school game has decided to pull out of it and go somewhere else. I smell disaster coming up on September 6th weekend.
I'm still not sure how you're going to pull that off.
Well, I'm probably not going to pull it off.
I mean, you can hang out at the tailgate area. It's no big deal.
So, I don't know. Well, I'll have to get creative, I guess.
That's going to be interesting. One more comment before we get out of here tonight. Loki says, when people talk about the best sports movie, nobody ever says Rookie of the Year. I bet Cash Money, you can quote it more frequently than you will say it out loud. That and Mighty Ducks.
I got one more that nobody's brought up yet.
All right.
The Sandlot.
You're killing me, Smalls.
The kid is an L7 weenie.
You're killing me, Smalls. But that's a good one, too. That dog used to scare the crap out of me when I was a kid.
Hercules.
Yeah, that dog used to scare the crap out of me. All right, that's going to do it for us on this Wednesday night edition of Inside the Hawg Pen. For those of you that don't get that reference, go back and read the description, because every time I read it, the illustrious wise man writes all of our stuff for the Facebook page. And every time I read it, it says, tonight on a very special Blossom. Where it says, tonight on a very special Inside the Hawg. Everybody enjoy the tournament. I'm going to get out of here before I start getting roasted.
The Final Four run starts tomorrow night.
Look, I'm trying to get out of here before I get roasted. But for Marcus, MC Carlton, I'm Razorback Zach. And for the absent Dylan Madden, everybody enjoy the tournament. Friday morning, I'll have a recap of everything that happened in that game in Arkansas, hopefully facing St. John's. If not, I'll have a season recap and a whole lot more. Appreciate everybody watching. Until next time, so long, everybody.
Thanks for watching this episode of Inside the Hawg Pen. Listen anytime on your favorite podcast provider, and be sure to follow us on all our social network channels.